Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to the Scream Scene. I'm Jody Dean. Make sure you smash that thumbs up, leave comments below, share this on social media. Today, I have a woman that I became friends with years ago. Very kind person. We've always stayed in the loop with each other. I've watched her just do all kinds of amazing things. I'd like to welcome Patti Negri. What's going on, my friend?
Oh, I am happy to be here. Thank you so much. It's good to be talking again. We can get caught up. Yeah, no, everything is good. I'm getting ready to go to Romania and I'm really excited.
I'm
And
jealous.
I know Romania and then Paris and then Penhurst. So it's
Good
good.
Lord. So you're not letting the grass grow.
Oh,
Romania,
grass.
that's
No,
just a bucket list.
yeah, we're doing this amazing witch and vampire tour. I just had Dacre Stoker on my show, and like his blessings, he's been there 14 times. You know, Bram Stoker's great grandnephew, whatever he is, but he's an expert on such. And yeah, I get to go to that Baku, whatever call it, forest, and do all sorts of beautiful magic.
That is amazing. Now, am I wrong? Is this your first time to Romania?
This is my first time to Romania. Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's been on my bucket list to go there my entire life. So that is really cool. You're gonna get to go to Dracula's castle or
Yes, yes, we are going to Bram Castle, which is known as Dracula's Castle. We are actually going to the ruins of the castle of Vlad the Impaler, the real Dracula, which is like 15,000 steps or something like insane to get to. We're going all the mystical, magical, haunted places in the country. We are going to.
that is amazing. Well, I'll be with you there in spirit.
Yeah, be
Um
in spirit. Otherwise, jump in the suitcase, come along. Yeah.
I wish. I usually ask people where you're from and what do you do. You do so much, but give people that might not know, some of my audience, a quick rundown. Where you're from and some of the things that you're involved in.
Okay, I am a LA native, Los Angeles girl, born and raised, live under the Hollywood sign, right under the H. I have been in the industry in sorts since I was 15, 16, all aspects of it. But I've been also talking to the dead since I could talk, since I was a toddler and obsessed with the dead, but not in a darker, morbid way. But I literally did my first seance, which is one of the things I'm known for, when I was 7 or 8 years old in my little suburban Los Angeles home, and studied it my whole life: religion, philosophy, science, occult science, metaphysics, paranormal, non-normal, everything. And but again, I kept it really hidden for a long, because I was from a performer to running a production company. It's like, I don't know. These people just cannot know that I talk to dead people and dance around on my witchy side, dance around bonfires in a cape. They just can't really know that. But in 2008, I guess, when the big corporate crash, because I was a very corporate production, and came in and everything kind of dried up and reality television went like this, somebody who knew my private sides, like, we need you for a seance, Patti, on this TV show. And I'm like, oh no, I can't do this on TV. If I was acting, but no, I can't. Please, no, please, no, please, no, I can't. And I'm looking at my empty calendar going, I need the work. And I went, well, what's the name of the show? And literally they go, it's called Mobile Home Disaster on country music television. I'm like,
Oh
who
wow.
would, I know, I go, who'd watch that? Again, who little did I know everybody. But in those earlier days of that kind of reality, it's like mobile home, but it was like the funnest thing I ever did. I got to have I know how to be on camera stuff. I got to be my legitimate medium, psychic, witchy self. I got to help a human little girl that everybody thought was crazy, because she was drawing portals on the ceiling of her motorhome. I'm like, no, there are portals on the ceiling of her motorhome. I got to help a spirit. It was like, this is all my worlds coming together, but never again, never again. And I can't do it. I just did it once. Nobody's going to watch it. But of course, it aired a couple months later. And that was fun. Never again. Too bad. My very first call was my biggest national corporate client. Hello, hello. I saw you on TV last night. Oh, and my voice, I was, uh, yeah, I didn't know you were into the paranormal. Yeah. And then she complete turn on. She goes, I love the paranormal, and proceeded to tell me her first ghost. I'm like, what am I doing? This is who I am. I am all the I'm out of the closet. I'm out of the broom closet. I'm out psychic medium closet. I'm out of the paranormal ghost hunter closet. This is who I am. And I haven't looked back. All of a sudden I am in the middle of Hollywood. I'm somewhat of a name just in whatever. And I'm legit. So I became the person to call for paranormal shows, non-paranormal shows. Let's do Jeff Lewis flipping out. Let's do a cookie show. And then 2015, I started doing ghost adventures. And again, it was supposed to be a one-off. Now I'm not pushing episode 20, I think, like 2 episodes a year for the last 8-9 years. And it's great. We just shot another one, but that's just taken off. So it's because what I used to always really kind of wanted to do is inspire people and let people know how amazing humans are. Take your power back. Because in working in all these areas, people give away their power. It's like, take your power back. You have it. You've given it away to fear other people or limiting belief systems. But it is so much more fun doing it in a paranormal world or a mystical world or a spiritual world than the world of HR.
Right.
So that's what it is. So that's what I do. I do all the Paracons. I've got like 30 trips this year. I do ghost adventures. Now I moved into YouTube too. I work with TFIL Overnight, Corey and Elton, the top YouTubers. 3 years ago, I started my own network, Paraflix, with my partner, Natalie. Also, 3 years ago, I started a school because I really do like to teach called University Magicus, this very affordable where everybody can learn to talk to the dead and learn spellcasting, learn paranormal investigation, learn Reiki, learn astrology, learn tarot. I have like 20 teachers now. It's international and everybody can afford it. It's like starts at $10. So I'm busy. So I run like 4 full-time businesses, and then I launched my power panties. There you go.
My lady was the one that told me about that. She said, "Did you see what Patti did?" And I said, "No, what?" And she shows me, and I said, "This girl has her hands into everything, but she
hands."
Yes, literally.
Hands into pants. Well, Jody, really, because I'm this practical witch, I see energy, my gift, whatever you want to title. I see the energy and color and this and sigils. I work with symbols and sigils. I mean, that's been used in magic forever. I have been working with literal like movie stars, like Academy Award winning for decades, even before, for 20 plus years, going, all right, you have this important audition, or you have this important, wear this color panties, picture this symbol or sigil, like a heart is a sigil for love, a dollar sign for money. Picture this symbol, this color, because, colors relate to different So with this color underwear, it's like, you always have this color purple under, this color blue under for this color red. And now that we have like print on demand, it's like, everybody can have it. Everybody. So if anybody wants, remember code Patti, 25% off. Cheapest part of your wardrobe is your underwear. Change your underwear, change your life. And it works. I have it for health, love, money, success, spirituality, going deep, dragon energy, inspiration, passion. And it's all the sigils, magical. I use a lot of runes. I use a lot, and they're all for the panties. We have boys styles, girls styles, from tiny thongs to yoga shorts and full hoodies and everything.
That is amazing. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, or you don't even need to. I keep my ear to the street, to the industry, and I have never heard of something like that before. Somebody mixing magic with your undergarments. That's an amazing thing that you brought to the eye now.
What more intimate than, and it's something you do, most of us do every day. And what more intimate that by your private parts, those lowest chakras of your body, those survival red and orange chakras, putting it on. Each one comes with this little spell. Like you can call it a spell, you can call it a wish, you can call it an affirmation. Every time you put it, I am strong, I'm healthy, whatever it is for that particular thing. Every time you go to the bathroom, you're reminded of it, because magic is just like science. It's based on that mind, body, spirit philosophy. If you don't have it in your head, you're never going to get it, period. End of story. That's psychology and body. You have to take action. Spirit is the magic behind it. That's the battery that makes it happen. Whether that spirit is through going to church and praying, whether it's new age affirmations and vision boards, or it's through spell and magical work and the shamanistic work, the color blue and a green candle and this residual and these herbs. But you could look at everything you've ever accomplished, Jody, and everybody out there, and that's a lot. You have a beautiful, successful show. You've believed you could do it and that you deserved it. You've gotten off the couch, body, you've taken action, and the spirit is that faith or magic and somehow behind it. The stuff all of us haven't quite figured out yet. One or two of those things need tweaking. Either you don't really believe you can have it or that you deserve it, or you haven't gotten off the couch to take action towards it, or you just don't have that magic belief to battery to make it happen. You switch it. These underwear feed all three of that. The sigil, the color, the word across your butt is the spirit, that there's magic in it. The mind is every time you put them on, every time you look at the color, every time you look at the word, you're sitting in your head, I get this, I deserve this. The body is literally, you're wearing it on your body. So now I had one lady, when I first launched them to the public, she bought like a pair, and cheap. And then she bought $1,000 worth. And that's a lot of underwear. But I'm like, how could anybody in their life? Because they're not expensive. So, but she bought them for herself, for her adult daughter, for her adult son. Great presents, but they contain real magic.
I was going to ask you how can magic influence your sex life?
So much. And sex life can enhance your magic. Because again, everything is energy. Sex is energy, and it's this focus, and it's like the ultimate highest vibration of the ecstasy, where you're out of your body, you're out of your left brain. It's just that experience of, which is sex. To get to magic, that's what you have to do with your focus and intention. It doesn't have to have anything to do with sex, but actually that's why a lot of people do sex magic to enhance something, whether a partner or not, doesn't matter. That energy that you're creating, whether you're drumming around a circle or whatever to create it. But with our sex life, again, because it's energy, if you want to improve your sex life or you want to improve whatever, it's the focus you put into that mind, body, spirit. I was talking about of psychology terms. In magic terms, it's creation, working, dispatch. Same thing, creation. Oh, I'm going to do a sex and love spell. How about, okay, the mind. Oh, I'll do it on Friday. That's the day of Venus. That's Venus. I'm going to use rose petals because that's love. Oh, I'm going to put some cinnamon in there because that's passion. And some red color, that's passion. So it's that your mind you're setting up. Body is literally you're creating, you're doing it, you're carving that candle or filling that bathtub. And the spirit, again, is the now I'm drumming, now I'm chanting, now I'm creating it. So it's that same mind, body, spirit, or creation, working, dispatch. And that's, the new agers use the word manifestation. It's and or you use the words prayer and faith, or you use witchy words, all the same thing. It's science. Don't tell anybody, it's science.
I love the way that you explained it there. I had a good idea how it worked, but I that's one thing I've always loved about you, is the way that you explain things, which makes a lot of sense because we were talking about, starting your own schools and everything like that.
Easy.
Well, yeah, that's the biggest problem I've ever seen in that field, is people explaining how these things work so clearly, and you do that better than anybody I've ever met. And I'm not saying that because you're a friend or you're on here. I think everybody has said that about you. So I mean, you have gifts, but you have a gift of teaching others, and that's a beautiful thing. So I mean, how is that school? What's the feedback like from the people that are getting this?
It is great. Again, we have no expectations. You can take one ever in your whole life. You don't have to enroll in the school. And here's $20 because I want to do a 1-week tarot class or a paranormal investigation with Stefan Bugatti. I literally have 20 teachers, all different belief systems. I'm not going to be a cult. I don't want to say I won't let people say this is the truth. This is my truth. This is a truth, because my truth might be different than yours. So I have Reiki people, witchy people, Christian people. I have a Catholic priest exorcist. I have werewolf, my vampire partner, Sebastian, way left of center, way right of center, all positive magic, but all out there, or not all of it out there. Some of it's just pure new agey and crystals. And, but this, because there's many ways and you have to find your truth. That's what we got away from. So the school is, you could take one little class, or with membership, if you want to member, literally $10 a month, you're a member, and like a $10 member, you get a discount on classes. $45, I think, gets you 4 classes a month. It's crazy. Some people pay hundreds of dollars a month, a couple $100, and they come to school every day, but they're getting this deep, amazing education. They're live classes on Zoom, and it's international. I get to go on and go, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello Australia, it's tomorrow. But everybody, which means not everybody can come to the class, because it's, what if I'm teaching at 6 p.m. in Pacific time, it's 9 back east, and it's midnight or 2 in the morning in the UK. Everybody gets a video the next day. So a lot of people don't, like, I just taught a mediumship series where everybody did amazing, easy. This is how to talk to the dead. Let's practice. And 75 people signed up for it, but never more than 25 were people. So that's a Zoom screen. So it's intimate in that moment, and you get to have the video forever. So it's my baby, it's my passion. I don't know that I'm going to get rich off it, because somebody else would be charging thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to teach what I'm teaching. But that's not why I do it, because I just love people, and we need to be empowered.
Yeah. I love that. Everything I do because I love it. You have to, man. Too many people are just, they only see the dollar sign, and that's incredible. Let me ask you this question. You said that you live right under the H. What's the power source? What's the energy like there? You've been there all your life. You said you're a native there. Yeah. How much has that contributed to what you do?
It's huge. It's actually why Hollywood is where Hollywood is. You know, the hills of Hollywood, there's Griffith Park, and then the hills go down to like Malibu, all the cool areas. There's the valley on one side and the basin on the other side, but this magical area. There is this great big vortex in Griffith Park. It's an energy vortex of just it's not marked or anything, but everybody would feel it. Anybody who thinks they're not intuitive, you would feel it. Every time I have ever been there for years, there's creative people there. There's lovers kissing, musicians playing, actors rehearsing, nuns praying and reading the Bible. Oops. Turn that off. Sorry about that. That's supposed to be turned. So anyway, so the creative people are there. And then there's little ones going all the way down to Malibu. I honestly believe that vortex brought the creative. It's literally in the hills, halfway between Hollywood and Burbank, the 2 entertainment capitals of the world. It has drawn in the writers, the dreamers, the musicians, the actors, and the religious right brain. Within 1 mile of my house, I have 7 major religions. I have Vedanta Society, Self-Realization Fellowship, the Theosophy Center, a great big huge Catholic monastery. I have the Scientologists. I have it's bring everybody in of this creative right-brained world. And it's kind of a love or hate place. And for me, it feeds me, because I even have a little bitty vortex in my backyard. I have this little regular house on 1/3 of an acre in the hills. It's like, let's go play in the yard. And I've never, again, I was raised much more in suburban, like 25 miles away, the Long Beach area, but it draws in this special people, like paranormal people who will talk to them. It's amazing.
That is it sounds like a natural tool.
Yes.
Let me ask you this question, because this channel is a lot about horror, but you're in all kinds of aspects of the field that relate to that, and even just being in the industry can be a real life horror, right? We won't go into the deep darkness of that, but you are a known actress as well. You've had some stuff. Now, it's been a while since I went down the rabbit hole. Have you ever acted in any horror films?
some really, really bad ones, Jody.
I love bad indie horror films. I am a sucker for indie horror. Girl, listen, I have to own them even if they suck. But I'm just curious. Like, I was like, man, have I missed it?
Yeah, I think the worst one, what is it called? Oh, it was your cliche low budget. Dark Harvest. Dark Harvest. It was like 7 young campers out in their van going out to wherever we were going. And of course, we slowly killed off by killer scarecrows. Bad acting, bad everything. You had the obligatory, topless scenes of the girl. I mean, by today's standards, it's we practically see on TV, but by then it was like, ooh, it was hysterical. That was the Dark Harvest. I actually, a few years ago, the director, somebody was buying it for distribution or something. So the new ones, if you buy them, they have a modern interview with me from just a couple of years ago, talking about the filming of it and a low budget and how we're going to make the burns on my face Jello. But and other ones I don't even remember what.
Are you a SAG actress?
I am.
You are? Okay. Wow.
You know who gave me my SAG card? Sylvester Stallone.
Really?
On Rocky 3. I was a baby singing. And I don't sing, just like I've been on MasterChef, and I don't cook, and I've been on America's Got Talent, and I don't have any. I've done a Wipeout, and I'm not that, because that's my we can do anything we believe we can do. But yeah, I was a Rocky girl on Rocky 3, those like little ring girls and little Rocky girls. And it was a big crowd though. And Sylvester Stallone was like, okay, I need somebody who could sing. I need somebody to back me up. My brother, whatever, Frank Stallone, his band wanted some cute backup girls. And I'm like, oh damn, I can't really. It's like, and it was easy though. It was that take it back, baby. So I could do that, and he hired me. And then all the other 200 people raised their hands, but Sylvester Stallone stuck by me, which is a big deal because they have to pay money to hire a non-SAG person for SAG. So He said no, she raised her hand first. She's great. I was so grateful. And then so I'm SAG. I've done a million non-union. It's not the world's strongest union. It hasn't ever done a lot for me. Reality isn't under SAG at all. Almost everything I do now, Ghost Adventures, Portals to Hell. I just did a sequel, Rachel Bissell. I just shot Patty Stanger's new dating show. None of it's under Screen Actors Guild. Reality just isn't. So, and I've moved into that.
Hasn't given any limitations, or I know it scares a lot of filmmakers casting somebody. I personally, I finally released my first feature last year, getting ready to wrap on the second now. And I've always thought like, oh man, it's scary to deal with somebody that's union because I don't know, there's something in the air that worries filmmakers. I notice any filmmaker I talk to, they're like, but there are loopholes. You can do non-union projects.
There are loopholes, and it is I've never seen anybody get in trouble. I've never tried to hide it. I've never said use a different name. Maybe once you Patti Black instead of Patti Negri, but they don't. It's actors act. You're not there to be a union member. The union's great and it helps people, and you don't. Child labor and all that kind of stuff. But when you're starting out and you're a filmmaker, you can't afford SAG wages.
Yeah.
And the insurance that goes with it and everything and the bond that goes with it. There has to be a way to start it out. And actually SAG does have some, not loopholes, but ways that you can do a really low budget movie without all the payment and stuff like that. But I do have a really good modern Patty, a warning for all you horror filmmakers out there kind of thing, if you want.
Oh yeah.
Well, this has to take a whole other story to get there. But did I ever my Catch on Fire story? Did I tell you my Catch on Fire story? Okay. Okay. I live in the Hollywood Hills. I live in the oldest neighborhood. Everything on my street says 1927, 29. It was the first movie enclave. I have one of the little bungalows, and then there'd be a movie star mansion, and then a writer's bungalow, and a movie star mansion. And there's a house in my neighborhood. It looks like a haunted house. It was built, it's like 4 levels. Everything looks like it was built like by the Masons or something, because it's like, this is sacred geometry. There literally is a compass drawn in the wood floor in the entryway, all this. It's like, this is magic. This is made for ritual and magic. It was built by Charlie Chaplin for one of his many girlfriends, Mary Astor, built for charge. And it was an insane party house from the 20s and 30s and 40s. It was a Hollywood Hills party house. And whenever there's heavy, crazy drug and alcohol use, dark stuff can get in, just does. So it was a crazy party house. And then in the 60s, the Rolling Stones managers bought it. And the Stones stayed there, the Mamas and Papas, Graham Parsons. So it was probably continued party house. Creative people, high vibration people, amazing people. This house just drew them in. And then they moved out. And then the guy who invented the real life sex doll moved in, the real life, full body, real life sex doll. And it got too spooky for him and his wife. It said all the sexuality attached to it. And then they moved out. And then my neighbor, Marilyn Manson, moved in.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh.
And he recorded in this dirt basement, which is so dark, and all this stuff. So anyway, we're filming there. We're doing a documentary about the house, and we are calling it the Mary Astor House, and all the history that it had. And I was doing a seance, and this crazy stuff happened. And around my table were young people. I'm sure you've noticed when you have young people past puberty, but not too far into their 20s, that's when crazy stuff happens. Life force is so much. That's when you get poltergeist. But my whole seance table was filled with these young people. My big shoot, a 4-camera shoot. So, and I control things, but it wasn't not like my public seance. You only get to talk to grandma, not like if I'm on ghost adventures or what. But this was, we wanted the spirits there. And this one, and my only rule for people is do whatever, be skeptic, but you have to be respectful, because if you're disrespectful, that's when trouble happens, period. Right. That's it. But this one kid was getting really disrespectful, and it wasn't my place because we were filming, but I felt the energy, and I felt this one spirit getting really mad, and I'm feeling this tension build, but I'm doing what I'm doing because we're filming. And then he said something really stupid, and first, it's cool. The French doors flew open. Those big old Hollywood French doors flew open, and everybody's screaming. The cameras caught it on, and the producer side of me is like, wow, that's cool. It's like perfect timing, and I've never fake anything. My reputation depends on. It's like this, and then that happened again, and then all of a sudden the speakers on the floor, the old school, how big can your speakers be versus how little can your speakers be, came on. White noise sounded just like a spirit box. Came on. We looked later, it wasn't even plugged in, but we didn't know that at the time. All this stuff is happening. This tension is building, and this kid's being an idiot. We're working with a Ouija board, which I've worked with safely since I was 7. But we're working with the board, and he said, we're getting this heavy duty information. And this kid said something really stupid, and not him, but the cameraman facing him burst into flames, Jody.
The cameraman,
it like a V of fire up his back. They look like angel wings of fire. He was not standing in front of a fireplace or a candle. It was like 2 cameras caught it, which is amazing. This was spontaneous combustion, like the movie Spinal Tap. This was all of a sudden, and 2 cameras caught it. 1 camera started like filming the ceiling or the floor. I guess you test the metal of a camera person by a small room with a lot of people bursting into flames. This poor guy was like wondering why everybody is screaming and pointing at him as his back is bursting into flames. And me, cool witch medium Patti, becomes medic Patti, of which I am. I'm EMT certified. I'm certified. I'm cardiologist. I'm like, drop and roll. I'm calling in all my wards and my guardians. This is not okay. This does not have. Oh my God, spontaneous. This does not happen on my watch. This is. I'm like, we're done. I'm shutting down the veil, because when I do seances, I open the veil. So their spirits are going to be there. So everybody gets to be psychic. Everybody's going to see and feel. But I'm like, this is not okay. But the cameraman, who was a super skeptic, was just so intrigued. Like, oh my God, I spontaneously. He's like, I'm okay. No, I'm okay. I have a sweater. The shirt burnt off him like it was a synthetic, but it was cotton. It should not have went poof. And as I'm looking at the blistering on his back, I'm like, oh my God. But he's like, no, I'm okay. I looked at the kid who was no longer going to be a problem. he's like scared to death in the corner. It's like, okay, you're not gonna cause this anymore. I talked to the ghost and I just said, come on, dude. It wasn't demonic. Everybody goes to demonic. I think demons get way too much credit for everything. It was just a cranky ass spirit. And I
Right.
think that's, you know, big theatrical, big in life, big in death. If you're Bob the Quiet Banker, you're Bob the Quiet Ghost. If you're some old 1930s Hollywood star, you're going to throw someone into flames, damn it. You know, that's what they're going to do. So I talked.
Wild. That's the wildest thing I've ever heard.
It is not done. Hold on. Oh, you gotta go?
No, keep going, please. I'm like,
okay.
more.
Anyway,
there's more.
I'm leaving you on a cliffhanger. No. So anyway, so it wasn't demonic. So the spirit basically said he would kind of get along basically, but more crazy stuff happened as I've ever seen anywhere, from glasses flying. So anyway, so we finished the seance and carefully, and I made him a little mojo bag. But 3 weeks later, he was a filmmaker. He had made that Bronies film, a documentary about the adult people Bronies. He was the first person on crowdfunding. He asked for like $1 and got $100,000. He was that first person on crowdfunding to do a Brony. So he was a filmmaker, but he was just a cameraman on this. And 3 weeks later, he showed me his back. He goes, Patti, look at my back. And I looked, and it totally looked, Jody, like he had went and got a tattoo of a dragon. Open mouth, sharp teeth, winged head into the shape of a serpent. Oh. That is the exact energy I called in to shut down the seance. I do dragon magic because dragons live at the crossroads between here and there. I have little, I don't know where they are, plastic dragons all over my desk. Dragons. I'm looking at him with this winged thing into this serpent. I'm like, oh my God, you have a tramp stamp of a dragon on your back. That is the coolest thing I have ever seen. And he thought so too. So anyway, he was so intrigued by this, and now a believer, because he wrote a horror script. He wrote it actually with Stephen Norrington, the guy who wrote League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and the Blade series, gone way left of center. So they wrote it about this TV medium who did every TV show, yet doing another TV show, and then a portal opens, and it's called The Portal. And then it becomes what I like, the scary, funny horror films. But and they haven't done it yet. And if they ever do, I hope Margot Robbie plays me. No, let me see. No, I don't know. But they haven't. But she'd be good. But anyway, but this is for all you filmmakers out there. I sat down with him for 5 hours with this script. It was a good script, but I went, Lauren, you cannot say that on camera. You cannot have the actor say that. He said, but you said that. I go, I know I said that. That does something to the energy. That opens up portals. Portal. You do not want to be one of those cursed horror films out there, because it happens all the time. A ghost or a spirit does not know the difference of an actor reading lines, opening up the magic, whatever, calling in than the reality. So it happens all the time. We look at, that's why more and more films are using consultants and people who know the occult, know magic. So I changed all the wording that they sounded as spooky or mystical or magical, but they aren't going to open a portal to hell. So all the actors die at 27, Yeah. You got to, YouTube, you got to be careful.
Right. Girl, I've opened that same can before. In fact, my third feature film, we start filming in January, and it is a supernatural demonic film. And when you were saying this just now, I was like, when I was writing the script, I was cautious of certain things. And even almost praying over the writing experience. I've never done that before, but I was like, hey, this is a little different because it's my first time, doing the slasher thing is way different than this the next step. So something happened more recently, and Ghost Adventures House Calls actually came and did my haunted house attraction, Dean's Haunted Mansion in Fort Gaines, Georgia. It was their first episode of this new season.
Yay!
They came I didn't want to be that name dropping guy, but I so bad was just thinking, man, I wish Patti could be here. And they were already there, but it hit me, and I was just like, man, I wish she could be
Oh,
this one. Um, but you've done a lot of episodes with them. You've
like
been a
16,
big
18, I think. Yeah. And the house calls, the very first episode of the first season was my nephew. They went and there was a house in Long Beach. If anybody watched it, there was a ghost that would walk after they were digging down. And that was my uncle was
oh,
trying to dig a pool, and they found was probably a bomb shelter and never got in, and the hell's breaking loose. So I sent them the first. I love that you're the first of the new season, and my people were the first of the last season. I mean, I wasn't in it, but I was there. I was on set.
I know I seen that episode because whenever we first started talking, I kind of went down the rabbit hole, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, this could be cool because my mom, she was living in Florida, and I said, Mom, I have this huge 1829 historic, beautiful mansion, solid as can be. It's in Fort Gaines, Georgia, and I said upstairs is living quarters. And I feel weird that the only time this thing is getting exercised is 2 months out of every year for the hot season. I said, why don't you come and stay there? You could be a live-in and just keep an eye on the place for me. And you don't have to pay no bills for once your son can take care of you. So she comes there, and everything is going good until she got pushed down the stairs. And the first time it happened, she questioned herself. Did I really feel a hand come onto my shoulder and push me? The second time it happened, she said, there's something that likes to push me down the stairs. And we knew we had an issue. And even though I've been doing this forever, I'm not going to act like I'm anywhere near the caliber of these guys. And we wanted somebody to come in and prove we're not crazy, see if they could document something. And I'll be damned if the first evening the guys show up, they caught on the SLS a figure put its hand on my mom's shoulder at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, they catch it. I love that spinoff because the guys get to do it. They were so excited because, again, I was on set with that, because they get to do all the interviews and everything. In that moment, they get their time in the spotlight. It's awesome. That's awesome. I can't. When is it? Do you know when it airs yet, or you don't know?
Oh, it's already aired. It aired like about a week ago, something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I will go watch it on streaming. Is it on Discovery Plus?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it is. No, it was a great episode. But yeah, I even told my mom, I said, man, I really wish they could have got Patti in there, man. She's awesome. But you never know. Maybe down the road we get you to Dean's Haunted Mansion at some point.
I would love to. Yeah.
But you're doing Paracons and everything, so you're going all. You not only got your stuff there, you're not doing the shows, but you're going to these Paracons, so people actually have a chance where they can go and meet you
all over the country, all over the world. I'm in a week and a half. I'm leaving for Romania. I'm doing a witch and vampire tour of Romania. Then we're doing a thing in Paris. Then I'm coming. I'll be at Penhurst. It's the Penhurst Paracon, and then I'm doing a witchy weekend in Dallas. In Dallas, and then we get into June. I'm doing South Coast, whatever, Stefan Brigotti's, his old haunted theater. I'm doing like 20 more. I've done 10 already this year. I done 20 more. So yeah.
Wow. And what's the like?
Huh?
What are the Paracons like?
Everyone is different and they're fabulous. Like this past weekend, I was at Old Globe Paracon in Globe, Arizona. People who live in Arizona don't know where it is because you fly to Phoenix and then it's like a 3-hour drive into nothing. And then you're in this cool old mining town. It's not over commercialized. And the first night I did a seance for about 40 people. It's not the thousands of people because you couldn't fit. It's a small town. Mm-hmm. And then the second night, then we did vending. I sold my books and my panties. And then I taught a workshop and did another seance at the same time. There was investigations going on at the jail, at the courthouse, at the YMCA, and they're fun. And this was, I don't know how many hundreds of people, little. But then the next time you're at, like, Michigan Paracon is my favorite big one. That's like 3,000 of your closest friends. When I'm in a mediumship gallery, it's a 1,200 seat theater. And we're not in a haunted place. Everything's haunted, but we're in an Indian casino way up in Sault Ste. Marie. So everyone has got its own feeling. The ones that if you go to the, like Vulture City used to be in Arizona, or Virginia City, those when you're in the old haunted mining towns have one kind of a feel. And if you're in like the big MGM in Vegas or Michigan Paracon, or I don't know what, this will be my first year at Penhurst in like, as soon as I get back from Romania and Paris in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah,
My poor dog. It's like, hi, bye-bye.
I bet that feels pretty intense. I wanted to ask you this question. I mean, you said something, you said the word demon a little bit ago, and that was actually one of my questions for you, because I was curious. We've actually, it's been a while, but we had like 2 or 3, conversations on my main channel years ago. But I don't remember if we ever crossed this. Have you ever, I don't think you have, but have you ever been possessed by a demon, or at least had a demonic attachment? I would think that you, knowing all, with all your knowledge, your powers, that they would want to grab onto you if they were out there.
They do, but again, I'm hard pressed to go full on demon. I'll go dark entity, dark spirit. I don't. When I trance channel, I'm kind of aware. Okay, you get 15% of me, or somebody, grandma, you get 80% of me. But I think the darkest, the closest to it, and I'm still not 100%, is the Cecil Hotel. Like the Black Dahlia killer is almost, he broke my ribs, not Ghost Adventures, not on the other show I did there, in my own house. He pushed me so hard into the back of the chair. I heard this crack, crack, crack. It ripped all the cartilage off my ribs. And that was Dr. George Hotel in my body, did that. But the Cecil Hotel, that's the one, the Water Tower, the Alyssa Lamb, Richard Ramirez lived there, some other serial killer. People throw babies out the windows, and homeless people, and they're jumping out windows. I want to bring every priest, shaman, rabbi, healer, do a big kumbaya. But anyway, I've probably been there more than anybody. That place has got some dark entity that I might even call demonic. It's an egregore that's so created from the sum of its 100 years of darkness and sadness and depression. When Ghost Adventures, because Zach had called me a couple weeks before and he said, we're coming to LA, we need you. Okay. And then didn't hear from him. 2 weeks later, hey, we're here. Can you get here in 2 hours? And I'm like, I'm a girl, 2 hours. Did I have time to take a shower? What? Did I wash my hair? But he didn't tell me the Cecil. He gave me a downtown address. He said it's kind of Skid Row. Okay, so I get there and I saw that. I go, oh, this is that girl in the water tower. I didn't know or remember anything about Richard Ramirez or anything. And it is Skid Row, but I'm walking up and I'm getting so depressed and so hopeless. I just wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself. And there was a rat that didn't want to let me in. Literally, usually it was Skid Row. They would skitter away from you, but I would go right and the rat would go right. I would go left and the rat. It's like, you're trying to keep me out. Are you protecting me? Are you possessed? I don't know. But by the time I got up to the door of Cecil Hotel, I just wanted to die. And then there they are. They'd already been there for hours. They had their camera strapped on and their equipment. They go, hey, Patty, hi. And they're like, okay, Patty, there's 14 floors. There's 700 rooms. They're all over. You tell us where to go. I'm like, and I've already allowed myself to go into trance state. And I just want to die. So we go to the elevator and I'm just, I took over and I'm like, oh, this is that elevator. And I pushed a button and we went to a floor and I walked in and I just go, I got to get out of here. And I walk over to a window, not thinking, because I sound like a little girl. I'm in a dream state. It's like being when you're waking up, you don't really remember it like a dream. I got to get out and opening the window. And Zach is yelling at me. He's like, what are you doing? Close the window. And I'm like, I just got to get out of here. And I'm open. And he's like, and I'm going, why is he yelling at me? He never yells at me in my little head. And I'm like, and he's like, sit down. And then Aaron or one of the guys had a SLS. There was a spirit on me. Out of 700 rooms, I had led them to a room. Somebody jumped out that exact window. And I'm sitting there going, I got to get out of here. And there was no screen on the window. It's like, yeah. And then I led him to a room where I'm being attacked, and it was where a woman had been like raped and murdered. But anyway, so this place is dark. Every room you walk by, every room has got a different horrible story. And it's more than the sum of its parts. I went back soon after with Corey and Elton overnight, TFIL overnight guys. Again, they rented the whole Cecil Hotel too. And less rules when you're not with network. So we got to do less rules when you're not with network. We opened a Dybbuk box on the roof. We got to go. With
Wow.
Ghost Adventures, I filmed with them for 2 days. I never got to go to the roof. Again, that's union versus not union, but they're still not union. It's like, I want to go to the roof, Zach. I want to go to the roof. They go, you can't. The fire marshal's already left for the day. These guys, I got there. I want to go to the roof. I go, is there a fire marshal? They laugh. They go, fire marshal? Ha, we don't have a fire marshal. So, but anyway, so all this crazy stuff. But this is what just we go, this might be tomorrow. I was in the hall with these guys. We did a 4-part show, and I thought I was channeling again. It's like in a dream, and I do rock. If you're in a seance, I was rocking, but I was rocking so hard, somebody had to put their head behind my hand so I didn't knock myself out. And I thought I was just chattering away, talking. All they heard was gibberish. And I've never done that before. But Corey, who I've been working with on his gifts and ability, goes, we should play that backwards. They played it backwards. I was talking English backwards. I can't even write backwards, Jody. I have so non-dyslexic. If I could probably do Patti backwards, but Negri, I'd have to think about it, spell it. And that's something for my resume. I can't believe I was talking backwards. That's place.
Next level. That's
next level.
That is horror. Oh my God. And whether you know what to make of these things or not, it's so hard to make heads or tails with something when you're in that situation at that moment, even if you do know it, because
you don't. Yeah, you're in the moment.
Right? Anybody's energy can be manipulated at some point, no matter how good you are.
Yeah. So, but that place, it affects living people. It makes you want to kill yourself or die or hopeless or depression. And it, of course, anything dark is going to extra affect people with mental imbalances or drug or alcohol, which is everyone they're moving in now. It's for sale. Zach thought about buying it, I think, but there's an ambulance pulling up every day. I have to clear, there's nice apartments across the street. I have to go clear them all the time. The energy just oozes up from the street. So it needs a big cleansing, but it affects living people. It makes you just want to overdose, die, kill yourself. And it affects dead. It really has a lot of spirits stuck there.
Yeah, that's heavy, man. And it's been one that I've always wanted to investigate. But when I hear this, I'm like, you know what? Maybe you could just give up the hopes of that, because I mean, I think everybody's proved what it is. There's enough proof. Like, where do we go from here? I mean, just more catastrophic things are going to continue to happen. I mean, I think if anybody did get their hands on it, it makes sense for Zach to do it, right? Because I mean, he's dealt with that.
He would do it right. Right. He likes adventure. He wants to push the edges, but he really like, even with his museum, there's wards, there's protections. He will do it right.
Yeah. 3 horror films that you give me 3 of your favorite horror films of all time.
Oh wow. I was so
this is a quick one for nowhere.
Part of me wants to go, when I was a kid, again, weird kid, even though I was Miss Patti, everything, I was raised on horror films. I think let's go Hitchcock, and let's go like The Birds and stuff like that. That's that classic black and white, scared to death a bird. So The Birds was just so influential when I was this tiny little thing. And then I also tend to like, because I'm a witch, I like witchy ones, even though they're horrible and they make witchcraft look terrible. And I can't even think of the names. We just did one last night. It was called Little Witches. Not even a good one, but it was like a low budget, The Craft, which I like. I love The Craft, but a low budget that, the devil comes up and the demon comes up. So I like when they mess up different forms of reality. So other than that, let me see. I was going to name mine, but I can't. I've already forgotten the name of it. This isn't a horror film, but that I did in my modern I Am Patti is a documentary, though, called Sell Your Soul to Satan. Again, looking at that. It was so interesting, though. Hey, this is a good story real quick. A guy was doing a documentary about people who would you be willing to sell your soul to the devil for fame and fortune? And he held an audition, and like a million people were willing to do it. And they picked one guy. He's an up and coming rock star, Kai Blackwood from Tokyo Death Squad, a little bit known. He was willing. So we went through all this ritual working with a witchy demonologist, more dark witch who had stuff doing it. And I was to do a seance. Should you do it? And we called up everybody who supposedly done it, from that guitar player, whatever his name is, old black guitar player, to King Solomon, to everybody who's supposed, and everybody said no. But anyway, long story short, he was willing to do it. He took his real blood. He had a big vial. He wrote on parchment, real parchment, goatskin parchment, I, Kai Blackwood, sell my soul to the devil for da 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 da. And when he was going to do the ceremony, we went, and I said I would go because I wanted to hold light. I didn't want him to do it. I wanted to hold space for him to get out and don't do it. And they had drawn all this stuff and his blood, and we went way out in the desert, and there was this like grain silo or something, brick, no roof. So we watched the whole moon cycle go from here to here. You didn't even have a door. You had to climb up into a window and get in, like the 12 of us, the tiny crew, and us, him and his wife. And anyway, he was doing all this stuff and all this fancy magical ritual. All of a sudden, all the candles, we had protection candles in front of each of us, started shaking, started to go out. There was a rumbling, rumble. It sounded like World War II planes coming in. All the candles were going out except for the one cameraman they were super Christian and super religious, and his wife was waiting in the car doing prayers. His candle wasn't going out, but everybody else was. And I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. He was supposed to come up through this black concave mirror, mirrors or portals. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God, this is really going to happen. But the girl, she did have integrity. The girl who taught him to do it said, really don't do it. You'll be dead by the morning. So he went and smashed that big mirror, smashed it. And then it all stopped, and he didn't do it. And he was always going to do that because everybody said, don't do it. But there is this big parchment, like size of a paper, 8 by 12, 10 by 12 paper. Mm-hmm. And, so he goes, what do I do with this? She goes, burn it up. We could not burn it up. We could not. We had 2 bottles of lighter fluid, and finally we thought it did. We threw it in the corner and okay, burned it up. Now we're cleaning up this mess. He didn't do it. When we're cleaning up at the end, we go over to get it, and we picked it up. It is now the size of a card. When it went from a paper to this, all charred on one side. It looked like body limbs parts coming out. The other side was beige as my skin, completely legible. I, Kai Blackwood, sell my soul to Satan.
Oh, man.
I know. And he's like, what do I do with this? She's like, keep it safe. Keep it really safe.
Yeah, that's insanity right there.
It wouldn't burn. And when it did burn, we thought it burned. It didn't burn. It was beige as the day it was born.
It's scary how real
this is.
Dark energies are, and how things like this are. It's crazy how real they are, and how many people are living, I don't mean normal, but what they consider normal, regular, everyday lives, and they have no idea about the things that exist and coexist among them, isn't it?
It's amazing. It is amazing. But it's sad, people who aren't even aware of it. Again, so you fall into rabbit holes, good, bad, ruin your life, happy life, all this stuff, and you're not even aware of what's going on.
Yeah, that something could be ripping you apart, and just being knowledgeable, or that's where skepticism, it's like I can appreciate it, I can respect it. Hey, you want to be a skeptic, that's fine. But I did not believe in ghosts until I went looking for them. I had never had an experience, so I just, it's not real. But the day I went looking, the very first time I ever went ghost hunting, I documented something so legit. I was in an area where there was nobody else. There was nothing that could make a sound. And I asked a legit question, is there anybody here that was in the war? And I got a response to that. And not only did I get a response, I got an action, a sound, a vibe. I felt it coming to speak before it even spoke. That day changed my life forever. And I'm like, that was just 14, 15 years ago. So I'm thinking, man, look how long I went, walking down the street, driving, and not realizing how many people, things could be looking at me or there with me.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
It's amazing. It's a beautiful world we live in, and
it's interesting.
and scary and adventurous, and I wouldn't trade it in for anything.
Well, you kind of said earlier, where can people find you on social media? Where can they find your products, the power panties, everything that's going on? Where do they need to go?
Get to everything from pattinegri.com, PATTINEGRI.com. I am hacked for over 2 months on Facebook right now. Hackers love me, but Facebook doesn't. So if I send you a weird friend request, it's not me. But you can get to my real Instagram, TikTok, Threads, X, and all that, because X is the Ghost Adventure one. That's what Zach likes. I have a YouTube page with tons of stuff that I do and how to do this and how to do magic. My podcast is The Witching Hour. Everywhere you get podcasts in audio and video on my YouTube or through my website. My school is University Magicus, Magick with a K, MAGICKUS. So it's not rabbits out of a hat, it's magic. And my network, Paraflix. I'm with Ghost Finders now on Paraflix. I put my Witching Hour and video on it. I need to send some new ones. So go to pattinegri.com and then come to everywhere. If you signed up for my little newsletter, I'm going to be in half the states this year. I've got New Jersey, I've got Massachusetts, I've got Salem, I've got New Orleans 2 or 3 times. I'm everywhere. So I'm going to see you there too, Jody.
Yeah, that would be, I would love to see you in New Orleans. I've been trying to find a reason to get back there, and I'm going to hold out for that. So, okay. Well, as always, you're such a awesome person. I do love you to death. I'm so happy to see all the stuff you're doing. I've always kept up with you, no matter how busy I am, man. I just take a peek in. I wonder how she's doing.
Thank you. And me too. You. Congrats on all that you're doing. This is awesome.
I really appreciate it. We'll stay on just for 1 second, guys. Go follow her, check her out if you haven't. I'm sure you probably already have, but if you haven't, man, go down the rabbit hole. Get you some power panties. I mean, that just sounds like something you need in your life. Don't say why, say why not, and power up today. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Smash that thumbs up, comment below, share this on social media. It's Jody Dean, The Scream Scene. Love you guys so much, but until next time, sweet nightmares.